everyone, and welcome to the PM Interview Prep Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Miller. By day, I'm a senior PM at DoorDash, where I lead a team focused on the Dasher experience, basically making sure our delivery partners have the tools they need to earn efficiently and stay safe on the road. This podcast is all about pulling back the curtain on the PM interview. No fluff, no abstract theory, just real mock interviews, broken down so you can hear what a great answer actually sounds like. And today I am thrilled to have my friend Carl Jensen on the show. Carl is a product manager at Spotify, working on some of the core personalization features you probably use every day, like your Discover Weekly. Carl, thanks for being here, man.
Hey, Steve. Psyched to be here. It's always fun to get back in the interview mindset, even if it gives me a little bit of anxiety.
I get it, man. It's like a muscle you have to keep flexing. So before we jump in, I want to set the stage for our listeners. The question I'm about to give Carl falls into a classic category, the product design question, sometimes called a blue sky or 0 to 1 question. Now, in terms of difficulty, I'd rate this one as medium to hard. It's not hard because of technical complexity, but because it's so incredibly open-ended. Your ability to create structure out of pure ambiguity is what's being tested. It's a test of creativity, user empathy, and business sense all rolled into one. You'll see questions just like this at almost every major tech company, from Google and Meta to startups trying to find their next big thing. It's especially common for mid-level to senior roles. So for everyone listening right now, this is your moment. When I ask the question, hit pause. I'm serious. Take a few minutes, whiteboard it, talk it out loud. How would you begin? That active practice is the secret sauce. All right, Carl, you ready to step into the interview room?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Great. Thanks for coming in today, Carl. The question for you is, design a product for solo travelers.
Okay. Wow, that's a great one. Big and open-ended. I like it. Before I start spitballing ideas, I need to get my bearings. Can I ask a few clarifying questions to narrow the scope a bit?
Of course, please do.
Cool. First, are we a new startup trying to build a business from scratch, or are we designing this for an existing company? That changes everything.
Good question. Let's assume you're building this for a large, established travel tech company. Think Booking.com or an Airbnb. You have resources, brand recognition, and a large user base to tap into.
Got it. That's super helpful. So we can leverage existing assets. In that case, what's the company's main goal here? Are we primarily trying to acquire a new type of user, drive more bookings, or are we maybe more focused on engagement and retention?
Let's say the primary goal is engagement. The leadership team believes that if we can create a product that solo travelers genuinely love and use frequently during their trips, monetization and other downstream benefits will follow.
Engagement as the North Star. Perfect. And one last one. Any constraints I should know about? Are we thinking mobile first, web, any specific geography we're targeting?
Definitely mobile first, since travelers are on the go. You can assume a global market, but feel free to propose a pilot in a few key cities to start. Okay, listeners, quick pause. This right here is the masterclass. Carl took a prompt you could drive a truck through and build a fence around it. He asked about the company, the goal, which is the most important one, and the constraints. He now has a much clearer problem to solve. Never, ever skip this step. Back to Carl.
Awesome. Thank you. So just to recap for my own sake, we're designing a mobile-first product for a major travel company with the primary goal of driving engagement among solo travelers. The term solo traveler is still really broad, right? A 19-year-old on a gap year has completely different needs than a 40-year-old on a work trip. To build something people actually want, I need to focus. So I'm going to quickly sketch out a few user personas I see within this group. 1. The backpacker. Young, budget-conscious, looking for adventure and social connection, usually in hostels. 2. The bleisure professional. This is the person who adds a weekend to their business trip. They're probably 28 to 45, have disposable income, but are super time poor. They value convenience and quality. 3. The sabbatical seeker. Someone on a longer, immersive trip. They're looking for deeper community and a sense of routine in a new place. And 4, the luxury pilgrim. High net worth, seeking unique, private, and highly curated experiences. Comfort and exclusivity are key. All of these are interesting, but for a large company aiming for engagement, I believe the bleisure professional is the sweet spot. They travel frequently, have money to spend, and their pain points are very clear and solvable with technology. Does it sound good to you if I focus on this segment?
That's a solid choice. Tell me more about their pain points.
Totally. I think the core of their struggle is the tension between wanting independence and wanting connection. Their pain points are 1, the social friction of dining. Eating alone is the classic example. It's not just about finding a good restaurant, it's about finding a place where you feel comfortable dining alone, like at a bar or a chef's counter. It can be a lonely or awkward experience otherwise. 2, safe and easy social outlets. They're not looking to join a pub crawl, but if they have a free evening, they might want to meet a few other interesting professionals. How do you do that without it feeling random, awkward, or unsafe? The discovery and vetting process is a huge pain. 3, decision fatigue. They are busy. They land on a Tuesday and have a free Wednesday afternoon. They don't have time to read 20 blogs to find the perfect thing to do. They want high-quality, curated options served up to them. So the theme is a need for curated experiences and connections that are high quality, safe, and low friction.
Listeners, did you hear that? Carl isn't just listing problems. He's telling a story. The social friction of dining, decision fatigue. These are phrases that build empathy. He's showing the interviewer that he truly understands the user, which is half the battle.
So with those pain points in mind, I'd propose a solution. Let's call it the local table. The local table is a feature within our main app. It's a curated marketplace of small, interest-based social gatherings. The key is that these aren't generic tours. They are hyper-specific and designed for small groups of 4 to 6 people. Think a whiskey tasting at a hidden bar hosted by a local spirits expert, a chef's counter dinner at a trendy new restaurant where we reserve all 6 seats for our users, or an early morning photo walk through a historic district led by a professional photographer. This directly attacks the pain points. It solves the social dining problem, provides a safe and vetted social context, and replaces endless research with trusted curation.
I like the concept. It's focused. So let's talk MVP. If you had one engineering team for 3 months, what would you build to test this?
Great question. For the MVP, we have to be absolutely ruthless. The core hypothesis we are testing is, will our target bleisure users actually book and enjoy these small group experiences? So the MVP for the local table would be 1, a manually curated list of experiences. In our pilot cities, say London, New York, Tokyo, we'd start with just 5 to 10 manually sourced and vetted experiences per city. No fancy algorithm, just a simple, beautiful list. 2, a simple booking flow. User sees the event, sees who else is going, maybe first name, job title to build professional context, and can reserve a spot. 3, a bare bones group chat. Once you've booked, you're dropped into a temporary group chat with the other attendees and the host. This helps break the ice before the event even starts. And 4, a simple post-event survey. We won't build a complex review system. We'll just use an automated email with a 1 to 10 rating and open text box to start. That's our main feedback loop. What's not in the MVP is just as important. No open marketplace for anyone to host, no integrated payments, we could have them pay the host directly at first, and no complex user profiles. We just need to validate the core loop.
Very disciplined. And how do you know if this MVP is working? What are your success metrics?
Right, metrics. For a pilot like this, I'd look at a mix of quantitative and qualitative signals. Our North Star metric would be successful attendances per week. This tells us if we're actually delivering the core value. It's not just bookings, but people actually showing up and having the experience. For leading indicators, I'd watch click-to-book rate. Of the people who view an experience, what percentage actually book it? This tells us if the offerings are compelling. Event fill rate. Are our curated events actually selling out? If they are, it's a great sign of demand. And for quality and future potential, the post-event NPS score. The classic, how likely are you to recommend this question. For an experienced product, this is everything. Anything below a 7 is a failure. We're aiming for 9s and 10s. And repeat booking rate. This is the killer metric. What percentage of users book a second experience within, say, 90 days? If people are coming back, we found real product market fit. If we see a high NPS and a budding repeat booking rate, even on a small scale, I'd say we have a strong signal to double down.
Makes sense. Let's fast forward a year. The pilot was a huge success. What's the long-term vision for the local table? Where does it go from here?
I love that question. Long-term, the local table isn't just a feature. It becomes a social graph built on shared real-world experiences. The vision has a few pillars. 1. Personalization at scale. We move from manual curation to an AI-driven recommendation engine. It knows you're a marketing director who loves street art and natural wine, so it surfaces a gallery walk followed by a tasting at a natural wine bar with other creatives. It becomes predictive and magical. 2. We expand the definition of experience. We move beyond just dinners and tours. We can facilitate connections for co-working, gym passes, finding a jogging partner, or attending a local concert. It becomes the go-to utility for your entire trip. And 3. We build a community flywheel. We'd create a pathway for trusted superhosts to emerge from the community. A local chef who hosted a few amazing dinners could eventually be empowered to create and list their own events on the platform, creating a supply-side flywheel that enriches the ecosystem for everyone. Ultimately, the vision is to transform the core product from a transactional booking engine to a relational, community-driven platform. We'd be solving the fundamental human need for connection, which is a much more defensible and engaging business to be in.
And we can drop the act. Carl, that was awesome, man. Seriously.
Thanks. You really feel the pressure, even when you know it's a mock. It's a good workout.
For sure. Okay, listeners, let's do a quick debrief. What Carl did so well was maintain a crystal clear structure from start to finish. Clarify, segment, empathize, solution, MVP, metrics, vision. It was like a checklist, but he made it sound like a natural flowing conversation. The part that really elevated it for me was the way he named things. The local table is so much better than a feature for solo travelers. It gives the idea an identity. And his vision at the end, talking about building a social graph, showed that he was thinking not just about a feature, but about a long-term strategic moat for the business. If I were to give one tiny piece of advice, maybe it would be to briefly touch on the risks or trade-offs. For example, mentioning that a highly curated model is hard to scale and that we'd need to figure that out post-MVP. That shows you're thinking about the downsides too. But that's a small polish on what was a really robust answer.
That's a great point. I should have probably said something like, the biggest risk here is scaling the manual curation. For the MVP, we accept that risk, but long-term, we'd need a plan to solve it. That would have rounded it out. Good call.
Exactly. But again, you gave our listeners a fantastic blueprint. And that's our time for today.
A massive thank you to Carl Jensen from Spotify for coming on and being such a great sport.
Anytime, Steve. This was a lot of fun.
To everyone listening and grinding for those interviews, remember the framework, but don't forget to inject your own personality and empathy into it. That's what makes the difference. Make sure you subscribe to the PM Interview Prep Podcast on whatever app you're using. And if this helped you, the single best thing you can do is share it with a friend who's also prepping. We'll see you next time. Keep building.